Hi guys! So I originally had a big old intro for you guys, but we're just going to get started and we're going to prime the face first. So first we're going to be using the Smashbox Photo Primer. It's really good. I really like it. We're going to put that on the tips of our fingers and then we're going to rub it in our face. And I usually put mine on my laugh lines in my T-zone. I don't have problems in any other area, so I mainly just put it there because that's where I crease. Then I'm going to take the Smashbox Primer Water and spray my face just so I can have a little bit of moisture to the face. Next, I'm going to take the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color correcting color orange. I'm pretty dark around my mouth, so I want to make sure that I conceal and correct all of that. That way my foundation comes on seamless. And I don't have that dark area. So next, we are going to be doing the eyebrows. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I naturally have thick eyebrows, so I don't do too much. But yes, I use the Brow Wiz. It's in dark brown. I don't use black because I notice black is way, way, way too dark and it looks way too harsh. So I start by just outlining my brows already. Of course, I haven't had my brows done yet, so I am just outlining what I have and just filling in the sparse areas. Like I said, my eyebrows are thick, so I don't always have to have so much thickness to them or add so much color to them. I really kind of just do it to make them a little bit fuller and clean them up a little bit. So when I do my line, I start from the middle and then I do the end. Never start from the very beginning. I'm sure you've always heard that. But never start from the beginning. It makes it look more natural if you start and then you just brush through it. So I like to brush through mine a couple times. Next, we're going to be taking the Anastasia Concealer in number 5. And I don't use a lot of concealer. I use a little bit along the bottom and the top of my eyebrows just to clean them up. That's a good trick when you when you haven't gotten your eyebrows done, but you have something to do. You can clean it up with a concealer. I don't go too crazy with the concealer, but I do like to clean them up, make them look highlighted, and not give them such a harsh line. Next, I'm going to take my Eco Tools brush and just buff it out there. Try and buff it as much as possible. Of course, we're going to be putting foundation on, so it's not going to look like that. You could go out like that. It's very natural looking, but I wanted to do that first just so I can get that clean look. Next, I'm going to take my MAC Paint Pot and Painterly, and I'm going to be priming my eyelids with that same Eco Tools brush. And that paint pot can be a little bit thick sometimes, so we're just going to go through and kind of make sure that it's all the way on there with our fingertips. Sometimes the brush doesn't necessarily blend it all the way, so we want to make sure that it's on there. Now I'm going to take my Master by Mario palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I love that palette. It's like my favorite. First we were going to do that in the crease, but then I realized that I had to set my primer that's on my lids. Make sure you always set. So I just took one of the lighter colors in there and I just put it all over my eyelid, because if I didn't, it would have allowed it to be too sticky, and then once it gets sticky, it doesn't allow your eyeshadow to blend properly. So I just wanted to make sure that I set it before I did anything. Now we're going to go in with Isabella and Violeta in the Master by Mario palette, and we're going to mix those two colors together and put it in our crease. I wanted to get kind of a reddish orangish look, so that's one of the main reasons why I decided to mix the two colors. A lot of times I just use a brown color, but based on the kind of eye look that we're doing, I really, really wanted to make my crease pop because the rest of the look is somewhat dark. So I wanted to make sure we put a lot in the crease. Remember to always blend, 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 blend. You can always build up. If it's not enough color or not exactly what you want, you always build. That's the only way you're going to really get what you look. You may not get it on the first try. So then I went in with one of my MAC single shadows in burnt orange, and I wanted to get more of an orange look. So I took the Wet n Wild blending brush and I went into my crease and just continued to add more color. Like I said, you can continuously blend and add colors and go into different palettes and do whatever you need to do to kind of get that look that you're looking for. So right here I'm just blending, making sure that I'm blending properly. Did a little jig there. And as you can see, I got it how I wanted it. So now we're taking the Jumbo Pencil by NYX in Black Bean. and we're just gonna go over the eyelids. So yes, this is a sexy, sultry, kind of dark makeup look for New Year's Eve, but it's sexy, so it works. We like it that way. So you're just gonna continue to use the jumbo pencil. It will look messy. I'm not going to say that it's going to be perfect, but it will look messy. But that's okay because you don't want exact lines. Like, you don't want it to look, it's not a cut crease. So it can look messy. Like, it's okay for it to look messy. So you're just going to do the same thing to both eyebrows, eyelids. As you can see, it's totally messy, but we are going to blend it out. We're going to add more eyeshadow. The reason why we put the dark black base is because when we put the black eyeshadow, we want the black to really hold on to something and pop. So now I'm using a big blending brush, and I'm just blending that that black bean jumbo pencil. Whatever I did there, I want to blend it because before I put a color on top of it, I want to blend that so that it still doesn't look just as harsh, which is definitely something that you want. You want to blend as much as possible. Blending is always important. So you're just going to continue to do that. I found it easier with a thick blending brush, so you can see that. Now, I'm about to go in with a Morphe and Kathleen Lights palette. She has a good black color in there, so I'm going to use that black color on top of the black color that we already put in. So you're just going to put that over it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to go back in and add more blending colors anyway. So it's okay if even that doesn't look perfect. So then I took one of e.l.f.'s $1 little brushes. It's a small creased brush, and I went back in with the black, and I added the black more to my lid, and I added more to my crease as well. Then I went in with the orange color. They don't have names, but I went in with that orange color, and I went back into my crease. I didn't use the same colors that I started with. I kind of changed it up, but I still wanted to have warmth, so I went in with that orange color. So now we're just going to go ahead and do the face. I'm using my Makeup Forever foundation, HD foundation in Y505. And I just put a little droplet on my hand, and then I use the Real Techniques buffing brush to put it on my face. Personally, I like using brushes better than beauty blenders. I use a beauty blender for my crease. I mean, not my crease, my concealer. But I personally like to use the buffing brushes or any type of brush for my face because I think it makes it look more natural and more seamless versus having it kind of look like cake. We don't want cake faces in 2017, okay? So if you can find a brush, I would advise to use a brush. It's easier. So now I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape. I love this stuff. It is amazing. I love it. And I also, since my eyes look a little bit messy, you can use that to clean up around your eyes so it can make it look like seamless, clean, sharp. So I use it under my eyes. I use it on my little forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and my chin. And I just basically do the middle of my face just to add that little bit of warmth and brightness to the middle of my face. Then this is when I use the Beauty Blender. I wet my Beauty Blender, and then this is when I use it with my concealer. Like I said, I love the Beauty Blender, not necessarily for foundation for me personally, but I do like to use it to blend out my concealer. It picks up extra product too, and I don't like a lot of product under my eyes too much. So next I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques Beauty Sponge and the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Is my first time using it, and I really liked it. I don't bake personally. I personally don't do it. It's not that I have anything against baking. I just kind of don't see the point. So I just put it on there, blend it out, and then with a big brush, I kind of buff it all out. So I put that translucent powder everywhere where I put my concealer. And then I take my big brush and I kind of buff all of it out, kind of wipe it all off so there's nothing extra. And then I'll go in with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Deep. And I used to set my under eye with that just so it could look a little bit more natural, but I did want to try something new. But I do set my face with that. It's thin and it's not heavy, so I like to set my face with that. That way it doesn't seem like you're caking more powder on top of the foundation that you've already put on. So now I'm going to go in with my MAC blush in Film Noir, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. brush, and I'm going to do my contour. For, of course, women of color, it is a little bit difficult to find a good contouring, so I was told to use the actual blush for contour, and I actually like how it looks. Sometimes it's easy to get carried away when you're doing a contour like I clearly have right here, but I just kind of blend it in, and I kind of just work with what I got. I do love that e.l.f. Contour brush, though. It is so helpful. It's easy to get in the creases. And then I kind of just blend it upward so it doesn't look like one large muddy line down my face. So now I'm going in with my blush from MAC. It is from the Taraji P. Henson line. I love it. It is one of my favorites, but sometimes I can get a little heavy-handed. So I'm going in with my Real Techniques blush brush, and I'm going to buff that out a little bit so that it looks more natural. But it still gives you that kind of red like it's from within, so I do like that. And then I spray my face with my Fix Plus by MAC, just so I can have a little bit of moisture as I'm putting the rest of my makeup on. Now I'm using the Taraji Glow from the same Taraji P. Henson MAC line, and I'm using the Anastasia highlighting brush. And I'm just going to put that above where I put my blush, and then at the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on my temples. I like to glow. Everybody likes to glow for the new year. So that's what we like to do. If you can see that, look at that. Bow. Look at that. So yeah, so we have the highlight. Now we're going to go back to the eyes. I'm going to use the NYX Roll-On Pigment. And I originally used glitter glue, but I figured out that the pigment and glitter glue don't necessarily work. So I'm just rolling it on top. You could just leave it black. Personally, I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle because I think New Year's is fun. So you want to look fun and sparkly and glowy. So I basically just used my finger. I didn't use a brush. I used the brush maybe a little bit, but for the most part, I just went in, and I'm going back into my crease now with that same black color because I'm using the same crease brush. And then I'm going back in with the colors from the Master by Mario palette, and I'm going back into my crease because I know that using my finger I probably lost some of that color, so I'm just adding a little bit of it back. And then those two colors that I put in my crease, I'm putting on my bottom lash line. I also went ahead and, as you can see, I put on liner. I put on the Marc Jacobs liner, and I did MAC Giga Lash mascara. I used that on my bottom lash line. I don't show it on the video, but that is what I used. And now I'm about to use the Laura Nicole collaboration lashes, and boom, there we go. Got the lashes on. Yes, yes, yes. So that's all for the face. So now we're about to go ahead and do the lips. I'm using the Pro Longwear Lip Liner in Bittersweet by MAC. I love it. It's creamy. Kind of like the Kylie Jenner ones. It's very creamy. I like it. And I'm just lining my lips. I fill them in a little bit, but not too much. And then I add some lines to give some definition. Next, I'm going in with the new NYX Lip Lingerie and Seduction. It's new. I didn't even know they came out with new ones until I was just browsing in Ulta one day and I saw it, and it's a great neutral peachy color for brown girls. It is beautiful. I really like it, especially when you pair it with a lip liner. Then I'm going to spray my face with my Fix Plus again, and then I'm going to use the setting spray so that my Urban Decay setting spray so that my face won't move throughout the night. Look fierce through the new year. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends to come. This is the first of many videos. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a happy new year. Bye, guys.